I'm going to show you how to make Kreative Kiwi's T-Rex dinosaur out of the dinosaur set, and for that I'm going to be using the 5x7 hoop, wash away stabiliser, a selection of threads, my scissors, a matching bobbin, and this is for the back because it's not completely reversible, so I'm just going to use one colour throughout the whole design. I've got some pins and my batting and fabric cut to size. I've loaded file A into my machine, and we're now going to start by hooping our wash away stabiliser. I'm just going to put a few pins around the top of my hoop. It actually sits on top of the hoop, it doesn't go through, just to keep my stabiliser taut. Okay, you're now going to place your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 1, and that's going to give you your placement outline. First off, you're going to add your backing fabric, so we're going to turn the hoop over and place the backing fabric over the outline and then tape it in place. And now you're going to place your batting over the front outline, and I'm using poly fleece, and then your fabric goes over the top, and this is a kind of vinyl with a fleecy backing, so it should be nice and padded. I'm now going to place a little bit of tape down to hold that in place and stop it from moving during stitching, like so. And you're now going to pop that back into your machine and stitch round number 2, and that's going to secure all the fabrics in the hoop. You're now going to place your belly fabric over this area here and use a little bit of tape to hold it down. Pop it into your machine and stitch round number 3, and that's going to secure that fabric in place. You're now going to trim away all the excess fabric both back and front, so turn your hoop over. Pop that back into your machine and stitch round number 4, and that's going to do the zigzagging all around the raw edges. Next you're going to stitch round number 5, and that's going to do the satin stitching around the edges. You might want to change your thread colour because next is round number 6, and that's going to do the satin stitching around the belly area. If you changed your thread colour, you're going to want to change it back again, because now you're going to stitch round number 7, and that's going to do the arm here. Now that it's all stitched, we're going to turn our hoop over and free it from the hoop. And next we're going to trim up around these areas where the pieces are going to join close to the stitching. And that's our first part completed. Load file B into your machine and hoop your washaway stabilizer. Then you're going to pop it into your machine and stitch round number 1, which is going to give you your placement outline. You're now going to add your backing fabric, so turn your hoop over and place your fabric over the back, covering the whole of the outline, and tape it to secure it. Turn it back over, place your batting down and your fabric on top, and a little bit of tape just to hold it in position while it stitches. You're now going to pop that into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure it all. You're now going to place your fabric for the mouth over the outline and tape it down. Pop it into your machine and stitch round number 3 to secure it. You're now going to trim the excess fabric from around the mouth. Change your thread to pink or whichever colour you're going to use for the inside of the mouth, and then stitch round number 4. Okay, so you've been merrily stitching along and all of a sudden your needle becomes tangled in your thread. How to fix it? Well, this is how I do it. First of all, I make sure that my needle's up and also my foot. Then I'm going to cut where the thread goes back, like so. And then I'm going to free this one as well. So now my thread's all free. I'm going to remove my hoop because my bobbin thread is still going to be attached, and I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to re-thread my bobbin, and the reason I do this is to make sure that when I put my hoop back in the machine that it catches properly to start off again. If not, you'll find that it starts stitching but it won't anchor. So I can now put the cap back in there and replace my hoop. I always go back at least 20 stitches, so minus 10, minus 10, put my foot down again, and now I can start stitching again and it'll be fine. You're now going to want to change your thread to white because round number 5 is going to be the teeth and the white of the eyes. Load your black thread into your machine because next you're going to stitch round number 6, and that's going to do the black of the eyes and the nostrils. You're now going to trim away all the excess fabric from both front and back, so starting with the back. I'm going to pop that into your machine and stitch round number 7, and that's going to zigzag all the way around the edge. You're going to want to change your thread back to your main colour before you actually stitch this round. Where the zigzagging has stopped here, this is where we're going to join our first piece, and it should just slot together like a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle. And you want this line of stitching sitting on top of this line of stitching here. And when it does, pin it in place. Keep your pins right out of the way of the stitch line. You're now going to pop this back into your machine and it will carry on zigzagging around and join the two pieces together. I suggest you remove your hoop from your machine and check that your join has joined properly. If it hasn't, zip through with some scissors through the zigzagging stitch and reposition it afterwards. If you're happy with it, carry on and stitch round number 9, and that's going to do the satin stitch on all the raw edges. You're now going to remove your dinosaur from your hoop. And that's your second piece completed. You're now going to load file C into your machine, hoop your wash away stabilizer as before, and stitch round number 1, which is going to be the outline. So as before, you're now going to add your backing fabric. And now your batting and your front fabric. And pop it into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure them back all. And you're now going to trim away all the excess fabric from both back and the front. Pop that back into your machine and stitch round number 3, and that's going to zigzag around the edge and stop where you need to join the previous pieces. As before, you're going to join this piece here to this piece here, and you want to overlap this stitching here with this stitching here, and then you're going to pin it in place. As before, keep your pins right out of the way of the stitch line. When you're happy with the alignment, you can pop that back into your machine and carry on stitching over the join, the zigzagging over the join. And once you've checked your join, you're now going to stitch round number 5, and that's going to do the satin stitch all around the edge. You might want to change your thread to stitch round number 6, because that's going to do the spots on his leg here. You're now going to free the beast from your hoop. And now all it remains is to get rid of all the remaining wash away stabiliser. So I've got my warm water and a cotton bud. I'm just going to go around the edges with it. here he is, our magnificent T-Rex, all finished. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as they're published. Please do pop along to Kreative Kiwi's Facebook group. Always plenty of ideas and inspiration there. And thank you very much for joining me.